today we're starting the worksheet of vectors. This worksheet will be excessively talking about equation of vector and everything that we've discussed in the last two classes. All right. So with respect to the origin O, points A and B have position vectors given by, this is OA and this is OB. Line L has a vector equation, this. Prove that the line L does not intersect the line passing through AB. Okay. Prove that the line L, which is given right here, R is equals to all of that, does not intersect the line passing through AB. So first, we need to form a line passing through points A and B. Okay, so we can use R is equals to A plus, that's S, this can be called T. And then we're going to use B minus A because we're given two coordinates. So we use the B minus A format of the equation. Okay, so R is equals to, the first position vector. I'm going to write this in column vector format. So 2, 2, 1 plus T times B minus A, which is 1, 4, 3 minus 2, 2, 1. So R equals 2, 2, 1 plus T, and then B minus A would be minus 1, 2, and 2. Okay, मेरी working पे, मेरी calculation पे बहुत ज़्यादा नजर रखनी. Okay. So this is the equation of line passing through A and B. Now you have to show that these lines do not intersect this line and this line. Let me quickly check where so far. This looks good so far. All right. So now how do we show that these two vectors do not intersect? The first thing you should check is if they are parallel. To check if the two vector equations are parallel to each other, all you need to look at is the direction vector of both of these. The direction vector of one of them is -1, 2, 2, and the direction vector of the other one is 1, 2, 1. Now, since these are not scalar multiples of each other, k times -1, 2, 2 is not equals to 1, 2, 1. Hence, vectors are not parallel. If they were parallel, we would have finished the question here. Since the vectors are parallel, they do not intersect. Okay, now you have to show that the vectors are skewed since they do not intersect. You have three options only: if they're parallel, if they intersect, or if they're skewed. Skew means neither parallel nor intersecting. Okay. So what we'll do now is we will try to solve these two simultaneously, 2, 2, 1. In fact, I'm going to write 2 minus t, 2 plus 2t. I'm writing this here, and 1 plus 2t equals, now I'm writing this one here, 4 plus s minus 2 plus 2s and 2 plus s. Let me double check. 4 plus s minus 2 plus 2s, 2 plus s. Okay. Now we're going to solve these simultaneously. T minus 2 is equals to 4 plus s, and 2 plus 2t equals minus 2 plus 2s. First two equations are sufficient to get the value of t and s. Let's do that. So this would give S or T equal, chalo S ही कर देते हैं. S equals minus 2 minus T. Okay, now I'm going to substitute that in the second equation. 2 plus 2T equals minus 2 plus 2 minus 2 minus T. So that will be 2 plus 2T equals minus 2 minus 4 minus 2T. So we get 4T here and we have minus 8 here, and I'm getting T is equals to minus 2. Did you guys get this as well? Now let's find S. So S would be minus 2 from here. S would be minus 2 minus minus 2. So that would be 0. That's it. Yes. Okay. Now, for these two values of S and T, let's find the three coordinates. So the three coordinates are 2 minus T. We're writing these coordinates here. So 2 minus T would be 4. 2 plus 2T would be minus 2. And 1 plus 2T would be minus 3. Let me double check. T is minus 2. First one is 4. Then it's minus 2. And then it's minus 3. Okay, now S is 0. So we get 4 minus 2 and 2. These are not equal. First two will always be equal. These two would always be equal because we found S and T for these two equations. So when you substitute T and S back, you will get the same value on both sides. So the third value determines if the vectors are intersecting or not. Since the value of S and T does not satisfy all three coordinates, since value of S, since all three coordinates are not satisfied, or are not the same, hence the vectors do not intersect. Okay, this was question 1. Any questions here? Okay, let's do question 2. Points A and B have position vectors relative to origin O, given by OA equals this and OB equals this. Line L passes through A and is parallel to OB. The point N is the foot of perpendicular from B to L. State the vector equation of line L. Okay, it says that the line L passes through A and is parallel to OB. So that means we can use this equation. R equals A plus TB, because we have one known coordinate from which the vector passes, and we have one vector that is parallel to that equation. So there's a vector equation. There's a vector whose equation we're trying to find. We know a point A on it, but we don't know another point on it. In fact, we know another vector parallel to it. So this was the equation we used when we have a vector parallel to the other vector. So the equation would be R equals -135 plus T 3 minus 1 minus 4. Okay. Now it's always better to write your final answer in terms of I, J, and K. क्योंकि marking scheme में इस तरह से लिखा होता है answer. So that's how you will write it as well. Although this question में they've given the position vectors in form of a column vector, so you might get away with this format, but it's not the case in every question. So it's always a safer option to switch your final answer to I, J, K format. So we have minus I plus 3J plus 5K plus T bracket 3I minus J minus 4. Yes, it should be in IJK format. Okay. Part 2, find the position vector of n and show that Bn equals to 3. Okay, now what is n? Part 2. Line L passes through A and is parallel to OB. Let me just draw all of that. So there's a vector and we have its vector equation, which is R equals -135 plus T 3 minus 1 minus 4. Okay. The line L passes through A and is parallel to OB. The point N is the foot of perpendicular from B to L. Okay. So remember there was a parallel vector to it, which was OB. Now, N is the foot of perpendicular from B to the line. N is here. Okay. The point N is the foot of perpendicular from B to L. Find the position vector of N and show that Bn is equals to 3. Okay. So On, since N lies on the vector, so equation of On in the form of T would be same as this. So On would be -1, 3, 5, -1 के साथ 3T, and then 3 minus T, and 5 minus 4T. That is On in terms of T. We'll need T, and once we have T, we'll be able to find the exact position vector of N. Plus 3T minus T minus 4. Okay. Acha, now what do? Now we're going to find Bn first in terms of T. We're going to find Bn first, and then we're going to take dot product of these two, and we'll equate it to 0, and that's how we'll be able to find the value of T, because we know dot product of two perpendicular vectors is 0. Okay, so On ka expression aa gaya in terms of T. Now I'm going to find the expression for Bn in terms of T. So Bn is On minus OB. We have both of these. So let's do that here. So Bn is going to be On, which is -1 plus 3T, 3 minus T, and 5 minus 4T. Minus OB is 3 minus 1 minus 4. So that gives Bn equals -4 plus 3T, 4 minus T, and 9 minus 4T. Let me quickly double check. minus 4 plus 3t, 4 minus t, and 9 minus 4. Okay, so that's Bn. So like we just discussed, the dot product of Bn and this line would be 0. But we will not take this entire expression. We will only take this expression, this vector. Because this vector is parallel to the blue vector, so it will also, let me draw that vector. Let's say it's here. So it will also have a perpendicular relationship with Bn. Because the direction vector, this one, the direction vector is always parallel to the vector line. So Bn and the direction vector will also have dot product of 0. So now we'll have Bn in terms of t, and the direction vector 3 minus 1 minus 4 is not in form of t. So now we'll easily be able to find the value of t. So dot product of these two, minus 4 plus 3t, 4 minus t, 9 minus 4t, dot 3 minus 1 minus 4. I really hope you guys are doing the working in parallel. क्योंकि इसके बाद मेरी गलती निकली तो फिर बड़ी देर लग जाएगी गलती ढूंढने. So please do all of this working on your own in parallel so that if I make mistake, which I probably will here and there, so you guys can just point it out as soon as I make it, like you guys usually do. Okay, so अब इसका dot product हमने करना है 0. So it's going to be 12 minus 12 plus 90 minus 4 plus t minus 36 plus 16t equals 0. We're getting 2069 plus 1 plus 16. Yes, 2060 equals 12 plus 4 plus 36 is 52. So t is coming out to be 2. Let me check. Is t 2? Yes, thank God, t is 2. Okay. So what did we have to find? Find the position vector of n. So yes, now we'll have the position vector of n because we have the value of t. So we'll get the position vector from here. So ON would be 6 minus 1, 5, 3 minus 2, 1, and 4, 5 minus 8, minus 3. Which we'll write like this. ON equals 5i plus j minus 3k. You can also write n equals 5, 1, minus 3. In fact, did they ask for position vector? Yes, position vector का है तो फिर ON ही देना चाहिए. This is what will get you the marks. 5, 1 minus 3. Okay, that's correct. Okay, now we need the magnitude of Bn and show that Bn is equals to 3. So we also have Bn in form of t, in terms of t right here. Let's find the value after substituting t and then take its magnitude. So t is 2, that's going to be 6, and then 2 here. So again, that's going to be 4 minus 2, which is 2, and then 9 minus 8, which is 1. So magnitude of Bn will come out to be 2 square plus 2 square plus 1, which is going to be square root of 9, which is in fact 3. Okay, last part of this question. Just give me a second. The screen seems to be stuck. Okay. So the last part is find the acute angle between the line L and this new line. Okay. Now, how do you find acute angle? What was line L? We found it in part 1. It was -135 plus, I think I used T, 3 minus 1 minus 4. Yes. And this vector equation is going to be 1, 0, minus 2, because the j component is 0, and then 2, 1, 3. Okay. To find the acute angle between the two vectors, all you have to do is find the angle between their direction vectors. Because the angle between the original vector lines and the angle between the parallel vectors would exactly be the same. So we're going to use dot product method here. Cos theta equals 3 minus 1 minus 4 dot 213 upon magnitude of both of these. 3 square plus 1 square plus 4 square times 2 square plus 1 square plus 3 square under root, which gives cos theta equals, the dot product is going to be 6 minus 1 minus 12 divided by 3 square, 1 square, 4 square, under root 26, and 3 square, 1 square, 2 square, under root 40. So we have cos theta equals, that is -7 upon square root of 21 times square root of 14 is 7 square root of 6. So we get cos inverse -7 upon 7 under root 6. I'm getting 114.09. It's not an acute angle, it's an obtuse angle. So the question had asked for this angle between the two vectors line, but मैंने जो dot product का sequence लिया है, उससे I got this vector instead. Sorry, this angle instead between the two vectors line. So all that's left to do is subtract your answer from 180. So theta equals cos inverse of -1 by square root of 6. I hope there's no other mistake here. That is 114.0948. And when we subtract it from 180 to get the acute angle, we get 65.9, correct to 1 decimal place. Let me check the answer. $68.5 another answer. Let me check at the back. Something has gone wrong slightly. It's a mistake that this was supposed to be 26. Don't know how it changed into 21. Okay, so that's 26. Now what is square root of 26 times square root of 14? That is 2 square root of 91. Now when we take cos inverse of this, Meeting ends in 10 minutes, and then Adan will be sending us a new link on the group that we'll all join. And then Adan will make me the host there. Yes, so cos inverse of this. Yes, now I get 111.5. Okay, but we need the acute angle, but हमने जो dot product का sequence लिया इससे obtuse आ गया. So what we'll do 180 minus 111.52, which is 68.5. Next question. Points A and B have position vectors relative to origin O given by OA equals this, OB equals this. The line L has vector equation given. Show that L does not intersect the line passing through A and B. So first thing we need to do is find the line passing through A and B. So since we have 2 points on the same vector, so we're going to use R equals A plus T B minus A. In fact, T is used here, so we will definitely not use T. Either ka variable T here, so we can use S or mu or lambda or whatever, not T. So let's stop, say S. Okay, so R equals 1, 2, 3 plus S. B is 2, 1, 3 minus 1, 2, 3, which gives 1, 2, 3 plus S 1 minus 1, 0. 1 minus 1 and 0. Okay, that is the equation, vector equation passing through A and B. Now you have to show that this vector and this vector do not intersect. First thing you should check is, are they parallel vectors? वैसे वो नहीं होंगे, but फिर भी चलो, let me just break this down. So this would be 1, 5, 2 plus t times minus 2, 1 and minus 1. Let me just confirm. Yes, okay. So we have to show that these two lines do not intersect. Okay. So first, we're going to say that since their direction vectors are not scalar multiples of each other, this is the direction vector, this is the direction vector. They're not scalar multiples of each other, so these two vector equations cannot be parallel. So since k times 1 minus 1, 0 is not equals to minus 2, 1 minus 1, so vectors are not parallel. Okay. Now we solve these two equations simultaneously. From the first two equations, we're going to get a value of S and a value of T. We'll put it back in these vector equations again. We'll get 3 coordinates on both the sides, and they should not be equal. The first 2 coordinates would be equal, but the last coordinate would not be equal, and that would confirm that these two lines do not intersect. If the 3 coordinates on both sides are equal, that means that the lines do intersect, and the 3 coordinates that you get would be your point of intersection. Okay, so solve these two simultaneously. We have 1, 2, 3. In fact, plus s here, minus s here, plus 0 here, equals 1 minus 2t, 5 plus t, 2 minus t. Now equate these. So 1 plus s equals 1 minus 2t. That means s equals minus 2t. Okay. Then from the second equation, I know 2 minus s is equals to 5 plus t. So 2 minus s is equals to 5 minus 2. Sorry, 5 s की जगह लिखना था minus 2. So s 2 minus bracket minus 2t equals 5 plus t. So we're getting minus 3 equals minus t. So t equals 3. I hope everybody got this. Let me check as well. 3 में t is 3. Okay. Now, if t is 3, then s would be minus 2 times 3, which is going to be minus 6. Okay. Now, substitute it in both the vector equations, the ones I've marked, I've highlighted with yellow highlighter. So substitute t is equals to 3. So we get 1, but can substitute minus 6 instead of f here. So we have 1 plus s would be minus 5. So we have minus 5 first, then 2 plus minus s. That would be 2 plus 6, which is 8. And then 3 plus 0s, which is going to be 3. Now, substitute t here. So that would be t is 3. So 1 minus 6 is minus 5. 1 plus 3 is 8. And 2 minus 3 is minus 1. Since all 3 coordinates are not satisfied or are not equal, hence vectors do not intersect. Part 2. I need to clear this first. Okay, I'm going to end the lesson here and then we'll meet shortly after.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. Question. Now we're going to do part 2 of this. Let me clear the rest of it, which is going to take forever. Now the board is stuck. Just give me a second. One more. Point P lies on L So where's the equation for line L? Here it is. So there's a point P that's lying here. Such that angle PAB equals to 60 degrees. So we know the formula for this. The formula for this would be cos 60 equals, it's PAB. PAB, arrows outwards. So it's going to be AP dot AB divided by, these are the vectors, and then the magnitudes of AP times AB. Okay. So what do we know? We know that given that the position vector of P is this, so we know OP is this. 1 minus 2t in I direction, 5 plus t in j direction, and 2 minus t in k direction. Okay. Similarly, we know OA and OB as well from here and here. So we'll be able to find PA and AB to hum shayad pehle find kar chuke the, but anyway I've cleared that. So let's find AP first. AP would be OP minus OA, which is going to be 1 minus 2t, 5 plus t, 2 minus t, minus OA, which is 1, 2, 3, which gives minus 2t, 3 plus t, and minus 1 minus t. Let me double check. Minus 2, 5 plus t, 2 minus t, minus AP find कर रहे हैं, so OA से subtract करेंगे 1, 2, 3, so that's minus 2t, 3 plus t, and minus 1 minus t. That's AP, and AB is, कोई मुझे बता सकता है? हमने पहले भी किया हुआ है OB minus OA in the last part. शुरू में वेक्टर निकालने के लिए, वेक्टर इक्वेशन निकालने, 2 minus 1 is 1, and then 1 minus 2 would be minus 1, and then 3 minus 3 is 0. So AB would be OB minus OA, which I've done directly, 1, minus 1, and 0. Yes, okay. Now, let's equate it. Substitute the values in the equation. What is cos 60? That's half. So half equals, AP is minus 2t, 3 plus t, and minus 1 minus t, dot product with 1 minus 1 0, which is AB, divided by minus 2t whole square, which should just be 2t square, plus 3 plus t square, plus minus 1 minus t is the same as 1 plus t. Because when you square a negative number, you get a positive number. So I'm just writing 1 plus t whole square. Alright, क्योंकि minus 5 और 5 का दोनों का square 25 होता है, तो 1 minus 1 minus t या 1 plus t, उन दोनों का square same value देगा. So that's why just to less complicate the algebra, I've used 1 plus t whole square. Okay. So now solve the rest. And we'll hopefully get the quadratic equation. So dot product first, we have minus 2t. Then we have minus 3 minus t. And then we have plus 0 divided by, oh, I did not write the second magnitude, 1 square plus 1 square, which is square root of 1, which is just 1. So this can just be ignored. It's 1. Okay. So that's half here. And in the denominator, we have 4 square root, in fact, and then 4t plus a plus b whole square 9 plus 60 plus t square plus 1 plus 2t plus t square. Okay, I'm going to simplify the numerator here as well. This would be minus 3t minus 3. Yeah, that's right. Now what we'll do, we need the value of t. We need this quadratic equation here, in fact. So we can square both the sides to get rid of the square root in the denominator. So square both the sides, so we get 1 by 4 equals, the square root in the denominator is gone, plus I'm going to simultaneously simplify it. So I'm getting 2t square, 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12t plus 9. This is what I'm getting. And in the denominator, we're also squaring that expression minus 3t minus 3 whole square. Again, minus 3t minus 3 is a negative value. When you square it, or if you square it,
40 square नहीं होएगा 40 square 2t whole square से
thank you. Yes. There's a big
और
mistake.
मैम under root 1 plus 1 2 नहीं होता वैसे
हाँ, वो भी 2 है. Yes. Exactly. 1 square plus 1 square would be under root 2. So yes, you're right. So there are two mistakes, two major mistakes here. This would be under root 2. Okay. So that's under root 2. Now when you square it, so you get times 4 with it. So जब हमने सारी sides को square किया तो इसके साथ बल्कि square root of 2 है उसको square किया तो 2 ही रह जाएगा, 4 नहीं आएगा. ओके. और न्यूमरेटर में बाकी है, बाकी भी देखो कहीं और गलती है. a square plus 2ab, so that is that 18t plus 9. शायद I don't know, मुझे लग रहा है आगे जाके भी कोई गलती निकलेगी. Anyway, so now simplify this. So I'm going to send this to the left hand side. Also I'm going to cancel this and this.
अभी नीचे वैसे कुछ और नहीं होना चाहिए 60 square plus 80
हाँ, वो
plus
तो
10
चेंज ही नहीं किया. यस, वो तो चेंज ही नहीं किया. वो 40 चेंज हो गया था, ये चेंज करना चाहिए था. ओके, तो 4 5 6 60 स्क्वायर आ रहा है, फिर आ रहा है 6 7 80 और फिर आ रहा है 10. यही आ रहा है हैदर आपका.
जी मैम
ओके, सो अब इसको करते हैं क्रॉस मल्टीप्लाई. वी हैव 6t स्क्वायर plus 8t plus 10, and then 2 goes to the other side, and that is 18t square plus 18 times 2 क्या होता है 36t plus 18. So 0 on one side we have 12t square plus 28t plus 8, and we can further divide 2 on both sides. So we get 6t square plus 14t plus 4. Again, we can divide 2 on both sides. That's 4 से divide कर लेना चाहिए था. So 3t square plus 7t plus 2. Is that what we needed? Let's check. 3t square plus 7t plus 2. Yes, thank God. We got the quadratic equation. We need to solve it. Hence, find the only possible vector p. इसका क्या मतलब? Hence बोला है, तो that means definitely इसको solve तो करना ही है. So let's solve it. Let's see if this can be factorized. 5 7 3, 7, and 2. Yes, it can be factorized. I'm going to do it in a reverse way. So my calculator is telling me these are the two answers. Let me double check. 3, 7, and 2. Yes. Okay. So send 3 to the other side, 3t, send -1 to the other side, +1, first bracket, and send -2 to the other side, t plus 2. Second bracket is equals to 0. So we factorize the quadratic equation, we're getting the two answers. Now from these two values of t, we're getting two values of p. यही पूछा है ना? Hence find the only position vector p. So where did OP go? Yes, here's OP. अब इससे तो दो values आएंगी OP की. So that means one of this t is correct and one of these t has to be rejected. अब ये कैसे करें? Let's go back, zoom out a bit. Okay. So which of this t is acceptable and which of this t is not acceptable? What you have to do is सोचने दो. Dot product cos 60. Okay, हाँ ठीक है. All right. So one of these t is correct and one is not correct. अच्छा. तो अब देखो cos 60 की बात हो रही है. 60 is an acute angle. Remember last question में क्या हुआ था कि हमने सारी working ठीक की थी, but end में हमारा जो answer आया था वो obtuse आया था. But the question specifically said that you need to give an acute angle. So I told you guys that if this is one vector equation and if this is the other vector equation, there are two possible angles between the vector equation. This one, which is acute, or this one, which is obtuse. Both of these are correct angles. You could give the acute angle or you could give it the acute obtuse angle, but the question usually tells you the preference. So in this case, you're getting two values of t. One of the t is going to give you an acute answer, and the other t is going to give you an obtuse answer. So you have to choose that t which gives you an acute answer because the working was for 60 degrees, which is acute. अब ये कैसे पता चलेगा कि which t gives an acute angle, which t gives an obtuse angle? I think the shortest way to go about it is that find this dot product for both values of t. And if the dot product is positive, that means that t will give you an acute answer. And if the result of the dot product is negative, so that t is going to give you a negative answer. So for both values of t, let's find the answer for dot product. In fact, we did quite simplify the dot product. वो लिखा हुआ है -3t minus 3. Let's use that. So further इतना simplify हमने किया हुआ. Okay. So let's see quickly. So t is -1/3 and t is -2. The result of dot product was -3t minus 3. ये यहाँ से. Okay. So now let's see what are we getting when we substitute -1/3. Do we get a negative value? 3 and 3 gets cancelled. So we have 3 minus 3, which is 0. 9. Sorry. 1 minus 3, which is -2. So -1/3 के लिए तो negative dot product आ रहा है, which is an obtuse angle. So वो वाला t नहीं accept करेंगे. Let's also quickly check for this one. So -3 times -2 minus 3, which gives us 3. So since the dot product is greater than 0, hence acute angle. So you accept this one, hence acute angle. Okay, so this t is going to be accepted. The other one gives you for this t is equals to -2, you find what was needed to be found. Hence find the only position vector of p. So this is OP. Now in place of t, you substitute -2. Let's do that. And that would be our answer. So OP would be, now T is -2. So we're getting OP equals, we have 5, and then we have 3, and then we have 0. So that would be the only answer for this. Okay. That's all for today. Sorry, it took a little longer than expected. See you guys tomorrow. We'll leave you with some homework on WhatsApp. Take care. Allah Hafiz. Yes. Sorry, that was supposed to be 4, not 0. And the final answer would be 5i plus 3j plus 4k. Okay, that's all for today. Take care.